Editing sketches in Shaper 3D is a very simple and intuitive process. So I can simply just tap to select any existing line, and notice the line is now coming in this light blue color, telling me that it is currently selected. I can move this line around by using the arrows I see to move horizontally or vertically, or I can use the point in the middle to move in either direction. I also have the copy icon, which I can turn on here, and now that will make a copy of whatever it is I have selected. And of course, the copy tool can be very useful within sketches when we have any repeating patterns in our sketch, for example. I'll just undo a few times here. In the exact same way, I can tap to select any particular endpoints and move around just this endpoint here, again in any direction we might want. Of course, same with the other endpoint as well. And as we might expect, circles and arcs and any other sketches work in a very similar way. So just delete this line and maybe draw a circle here. Again, at my midpoint, I can move this circle in any directions I may want. And if I want to change the size of my circle, I can just tap to select the outer portion of my circle there and change the size as well. I also have that same copy option, so I can turn copy on and make a few copies of my circles if I'd like also. And I'll just undo a few times. And maybe delete this last circle. And same exact idea with an arc. Here, tap to select whatever I'd like to change or edit. So midpoint of my arc, can move my arc around as I may need. Outer edge of my arc, I can change the size or the radius of the arc, or any of the endpoints of my arc, and I can change the endpoints as well. Let's now take a look at editing a completed sketch such as this. And as we might expect, editing a completed sketch works in a very similar way. I can tap to select whatever I'd like to change. Maybe I can move this line around. And now notice the entire sketch changes with this line. Same idea with a single point. Tap to select any point, make any changes I may want. But what's also very handy when working with completed sketches is by making use of the double tap. So if I do a double tap on any endpoint, let's say, notice it is now selected and highlighted all of the endpoints of this sketch. And so now if I were to move something around, it's actually moving the entire completed sketch. Same exact idea if I were to double tap any of the lines of the sketch. Notice it's highlighting or selecting all of the lines of the sketch. And again, I'm moving the entire sketch. Also useful, of course, I can turn copy on and make copies of an entire sketch as well. And I'll just undo a few times here. Finally, some additional tools that are very useful when editing sketches are the trim and delete tools. So let's say I'll just draw another line somewhere about here. And now I can use the trim tool to trim away any sketch segments I may no longer want. So for example, maybe I want to trim away this line here, this line, this line, this line, and so on. And of course, we've already used the delete tool a number of times, but I can tap to select whatever I may want to delete and just use the delete tool to delete any portion of a sketch I may no longer need.